Hi everyone, this is Beth Pratt, and I am going over my chart of accounts for the Paper Mill Lounge and Theater. So the basic idea of the Paper Mill is it is a private club in the heart of Sylva, North Carolina. It's an inclusive environment. It focuses on engaging the art community in Jackson County. It provides upscale environment and services to the public. It also does private parties and special events weekly. And they also provide unique food and beverage options. The vision of the Paper Mill Lounge and Theater is to bring the feel of a New Orleans social club to Sylva, North Carolina. They blend handcrafted cocktails and an exciting French theater to highlight the best of our region. Top-notch service helps finish out this well-executed vision. So unlike some of you in the class who are currently developing your own small business, I've actually had a small business in the past, and pursuing this degree for myself was not about starting another business myself, but in getting into a career field where I'm able to help other small businesses. So eventually working for like a small business center or something like that. I currently work at the Chamber of Commerce, and that's a big part of what I do is work with small businesses. So in getting my master's degree, I realized quickly that a lot of what we were going to be doing was going to be based on developing our own business. And since that really wasn't what I was looking to do, I decided to work with somebody I knew in the community who didn't have a business plan, who had started a business, but it was pretty recent. He's only had it about a year. And to use the different things that we're expected to do in class in order to help him improve his business. So that's what I did with this chart of accounts. It's based on an existing business, but I went ahead and I kind of did it as if I was just researching one for myself, and then I used him as my expert and took his numbers and the things that he's actually done and adjusted them for the chart of accounts so it would accurately reflect his current business. Okay, so let's talk about the startup expenses for the Paper Mill Lounge. He actually bought this bar himself from someone who already had established one there. It was called the Winged Lion, and it wasn't quite like it is now. It was a bit darker. It was a little bit I don't know how you say it. Like it had like PBR and things like that on tap. It wasn't very fancy. So he paid $12,000 originally for the bar, and with that came everything you could basically need to start the bar. It was already built in. Now that being said, it wasn't exactly what he wanted. So for instance, he put a stage in because he really wants to incorporate the arts into his bar. That was very important to him because he has a past experience with theater and stage, and he wanted to bring that to Sylva. So he actually built this little stage you can see on the right. In the far back, they knocked out this little wall. There was like a storage area back there. They built this small stage, put up a curtain. The stage cost them about $1,500 to build. It was him and his partner built it, so it really wasn't too bad. Then he had to invest in stage lights and a sound system. That was another $1,300. And because it's a really small venue, it wasn't that expensive. And a larger, like full-fledged stage somewhere, your sound system and things like that would have been way more. But he kind of piecemealed it from items he bought on Amazon and in various places. So let's see what else here. I'm going to kind of go out of order here a little bit, but he did interior updates. He really wanted to create a really relaxed sort of upscale environment, place where women would feel comfortable, for instance. So you can see in the bottom what he ended up creating. He changed the color in there. He changed a lot of the furniture, lighting especially, just various updates that kind of elevated the feel of the bar. That was about another $1,200 that he put into that. He also wanted to update the glasses. To him, he wanted to do really fancy, exciting drinks. So it was important to him to have the right types of glasses to present that in. So he spent an additional $450 just changing up the things that they're going to serve out of, basically. Okay, so he had to get an ABC license. Now Craig decided to make this a private club. So things are a little bit different for private clubs. But he did still have to get liquor licenses. So he got an on-premise malt beverage license. That was $400. An on-premise fortified wine license. That was $400. An on-premise unfortified wine, which was $400, and then a mixed beverage permit, which was $1,000. So ultimately, it was around $2,200 for that. He also had to get insurance. He has to have like a general liability type policy. His rent, he had to do the first and last month's rent to start, and that was $1,900. So in order to buy out the bar, there was of course an accountant and a lawyer factored in who helped him figure out what he should pay for it and how to go about it, and that was around $3,500. Small business license, $45. Let's see what else. And his advertising, out the door, he put a lot of effort into advertising. He put things in the paper. He put a lot of money into boosting his feed on Facebook and developing a website. So that was the basics of his startup expenses for the business. Okay, so the ongoing expenses. His rent for, it's actually a pretty small bar, but it suits what he's trying to do because he's doing a private bar. It being small is fine because he can only have a certain amount of people in there at a time anyways. So he's paying $950 a month. He's actually on Main Street on the back side in Silva. His basic utilities run around $250 for electric, $89 for cable, internet $60, and water $85. The cable and internet, of course, are very important because he has a big giant screen in the back where he'll do sports or he'll do movies or special TV series that people really like. Internet as well is, of course, important nowadays. Nobody wants to go anywhere where there's not good Wi-Fi. His general business costs, once again, he's paying an average of $250 a month in insurances for it. His labor, it's really changed a lot. When he first opened, it was primarily just him. As it's grown, as it's gotten more busy, and also depending on the season, he said currently he's averaging, $3,900 is a good average so far per month, but he's seeing because this is his second year going into the busy season, he's actually getting busier and busier. Currently, he's open 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. On Mondays and Tuesdays, it's primarily one person running the bar. As I said, it's a very small bar, so it's doable. Wednesday through Sunday, there's always two people there. And then with busy events, he might add somebody in as a bar back. But he pays $10 an hour, and he's primarily there most of the time. And then there's two other part-time employees that kind of fill in the rest of the time for him. Okay, so let's see, marketing. He has a marketing background, so for him, the important thing is Facebook, internet marketing. I mean, he spends a lot of time posting events, bumping events, making like this little karaoke and trivia thing here. He makes that himself. For every event he does, he makes some little thing. He's always putting new drink specials and pictures up, and he's really, really built that community online. And that enables him to have a pretty low marketing cost because he basically does it himself and he does it online. And that comes from, he had 20 years experience in marketing prior to opening this bar. So it's very helpful. Accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll. Let's see, bookkeeping. Let's see if this works. So he uses QuickBooks. And with the QuickBooks, he pretty much tracks everything. He says he's currently doing the Plus. It allows him to basically run reports, track income and expense. He's also added the payroll, and he's using that as well. And the payroll handles everything for him. It handles the payroll taxes. I mean, he has to hit the button, but it does it all for him. So it's really great, and it's low cost. And it's, for someone at his size, it's easier than paying for an accountant, at least for now. Okay, let's see. Here we go. The other thing is his point of sale system, which of course is incredibly important. It's how you track everything, including your, how much alcohol you're actually using. And he's using something online that's full service. I accidentally did that. And he says he really likes it. And with it came a little computer that handles all the point of sales for him, and he pays a monthly fee to use it, which $100 is not bad. Okay, so product costs. He says it's around $3,200 as far as his records are going. We're working on that, getting better about that. But his paper products, cleaning products, those he basically just picks them up when he needs them. So we're talking Walmart. So it's not that pricey at this point because he only has, 2 small bathrooms. His kitchen is limited in what it does, and the size of it is very small. So his food costs, because he just currently started doing food, are $1,250. His drink mixers and garnishes run around $425. And he uses US Foods and has a lot of that delivered, so he can get really good costs. He continues to do updates to the interior. He likes to change with the seasons, really keep it exciting and fresh in there. He runs live bands, 2 per month. He also does karaoke a couple times a month. And special performances, for instance, he has drag shows, or he had like a psychic guy come in and do something, like a magician kind of thing. It was pretty cool. The live bands, he covers a $5 charge. For the special performances, they generally run about $15 a person. And the karaoke, it's basically just there to draw people in. Okay, revenue generators. This is his, basically his menu. So if you go in, that's what you're going to find. Let's see. So it's pretty standard. He's cheaper than, say, Asheville. So if you were looking for a night out, this would be a much more economic way to go. You can see all of his different liquors, mixed drinks, by the shot. He kind of has he's really kind of going for the fancier crowd. So he doesn't have like a lot of like a million different beers. He doesn't want to compete with all the breweries in town. He wants to kind of be known as the guy who makes the really good mixed drinks. So as you can see, he has a pretty small beer selection. And even his wine selection is not huge because, once again, there are people in town who that's all they do is wine. So why try and compete with them? And you also see that he's now doing hors d'oeuvres. He's trying to keep. You don't have to get inspected if you're a private club, like you would if you were a restaurant. So he is able to do these sorts of things pretty easily. But he's trying to keep it fairly small because he doesn't have a huge kitchen to work out of. So he's keeping it, bite-sized kind of stuff. And as you can see, he's keeping it fairly cheap too. So that enables, him to keep people there, and they're not going to go out to eat. They can stay there and snack. Also, see karaoke, quiz night, live bands. You see there is money to be made on some of those nights if you get enough people. Okay, considerations. Staying focused on costs and labor will be key in continued success. He should be creative with events, drink and food specials. That'll keep people coming and interested. Make sure quality controls are in place and being used, very important. And always look around for better prices on all business costs. That's a tough one. He's learning that some things are good to order in bulk, including foods, and he's started doing that. So once again, thank you. I'm Beth Pratt, and this is ENT 640. Thank you very much.